Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Terra and Tats, and yeah, this is a random week. Random week. This is a random week, and this week I decided I just watched this here not too long ago, and I thought I'd go ahead and talk about it. This is I thought it was 2023, but according to IMDb, this came out in 2016. Surprised about that. But this is the remake of Blood Feast, Herschel Gordon Lewis's splatter classic. And, honestly, this actually was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I didn't really hear the best things about this, really, this movie. And, of course, it's a remake and everything else. But honestly, it's like I could get behind it. It's a pretty well made film for the most part. I do admit it's not something I'd probably be watching over and over again, but it's not a bad film. The movie stars Robert Rusler there from you remember from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Weird Science, Vamp, and everything. And honestly, just real quick, I'm kind of surprised that like Robert Rusler is one of those kind of guys. Like watching him in a movie, how is it this guy never broke out bigger? You know, um, like watching him in this movie, he carries a movie quite well, and he is a good actor. He has a chemistry and a presence about him, and I'm just kind of wondering how that is that just I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I know he works and everything else, but just kind of like I don't know. Just he just kind of like watching him in this movie. I just felt like he feels like somebody he should have been broken out bigger, become get big big movies and everything else. But hey, still nice to see him in this movie. And then of course you got where's she at there? You got Caroline Williams there, who plays his wife in the movie. You got Sophie Monk. Ooh, Sophie Monk. Yeah. Anyway, so Caroline Williams, I don't think I need to tell you who she is. I think, we're horror fans. We know who Caroline Williams is. Sophie Monk, obviously, you remember her from The Hills Run Red and, you know, what else? Date movie, stuff like that. She's been in a lot of stuff. But anyway, so the movie, like I said, it's pretty much just a remake of the original. You have Robert Russler. His character is Fuad Ramses. I hope I'm saying that right. And he's running this restaurant. Well, his family lived in America, but they moved to France. And he opened this restaurant, but the restaurant's not really doing great business. Um, kind of kind of the biggest customers in his restaurant are his daughter. I think her name's Penny. Sophie Monk's character. I think her character's name is Penny. So anyway, a lot of the times, like her friends are some of his biggest customers. Like to be her friend and to support her and her family. They're always going there to eat, and her friends actually really like eating there. They like the food, they like the cooking, and they like just hanging out and talking with Fuad and his wife, Caroline Williams' character and stuff, and they just hang out and have a good time. But however, he's not, just the restaurant isn't doing quite well. So Fuad ends up taking a second job as a kind of like security guard in a museum. He's working the night shift and stuff. And when he's in there, just doing his rounds and stuff, he's learning about like ancient Egyptian history and things like this. And he learns about Ishtar, the queen goddess, I guess. And the problem is though is like at the same time too he has a condition, he has a medical condition, and he's supposed to be taking medication, which little bit by little bit he's stopping taking the medication. And of course, this is not a good thing. And as he starts becoming obsessed with Ishtar, and he's reading about how they need to appeal to Ishtar and to basically like attain like everlasting life, that kind of a thing. That they need to prepare this feast, and this feast needs to be consist of body parts and organs of people and stuff like this. And so he eventually just he decides that he wants to do this. He wants to create this feast and have be with Ishtar and have everlasting life and everything. And so he starts going on a killing spree. He starts there's like one person is like a homeless person who kind of comes and kind of like begs off of them for food and drinks and stuff like this, and so that's one person he's going after, and then he starts targeting Penny's friends and so on, and just more and more people, and then of course it's gore galore, blood and splatter and everything else, and just killing people, taking the body parts he needs, and he's concocting this blood feast. Very simple premise, and then as he's doing this, he's also being investigated by this detective, and this detective takes a real liking to Penny, and so it's kind of an interesting thing. Definitely a conflict of interest, you would say. On the one hand, he's falling for Penny and wants to date her and be with her and stuff like that, but at the same time, he's investigating her dad for these gruesome murders and killings, disembowelings, and things like this. So but like as the news is kind of closing in on Fuad, and so time is kind of running out, so he's got to kind of hurry up and get this done, so and to try to appeal to Ishtar and everything. So yeah, that's kind of basically it in a nutshell. Like I said, it's a very simple story, simple premise. Of course, one thing is, like you could say that, I guess you could say that, Herschel Gordon Lewis did approve of this remake. As a matter of fact, there's a scene in the movie where they're watching TV, and on the TV, there's a person. That person is, Herschel Gordon Lewis. He does a cameo in the film. So I guess you could say, yeah, he probably did approve of the remake and stuff like that. He probably approved of what they were doing. Overall, like I said, it's a decent watch. It's not the best thing. Like I said, it's not something I would see myself watching over and over again, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I really hadn't heard the best, things about this film. But when I watched it, it's like, okay, it's like, all right. But you got to admit, the original Blood Feast isn't exactly a masterpiece either. I mean, it's gory fun and everything, and that's kind of, in a way, that's what this movie is too. The movie looks gorgeous. It's beautifully shot. It looks really good on the 4K and stuff like that. The gore effects are really, really good, really top notch. They're, definitely a step up from, what they did years back in the original, where, I think it was the scene where he kills, Ramses kills the girl in the bathtub, and he takes her leg, but you clearly see it's like a mannequin leg and stuff like that. This here, you got pretty good, top tier effects artists doing the effects, and they look really good. They look really, pretty realistic and everything else. So, so in a number of ways, it is an improvement over the original. Yeah, the blood, the gore effects, and everything else. I guess, yeah, it is bloody, it is gory. It's not as bad. Like I said, it wasn't as gory as I thought it was going to be. It is pretty gruesome. But just that's kind of the thing. When you think of Blood Feast, and you remember like back in the day and everything, they talked about like this, Blood Feast was unwatchable, and you couldn't watch it because it was just so gross, and it was like, you needed like a vomit bag to watch it and stuff like that, and so that did kind of play a little piece of my mind when I was getting ready to watch this for the first time, and I was like, oh boy, am I going to be able to handle this? But then when I started watching it and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely violent and stuff. You can see on the back there. There you go. You see, like, that's like the homeless guy that he's torturing, and then there's one of Penny's friends. He cuts her throat, but yeah, the gore is really good. The gore effects are good. The acting, for the most part, is pretty decent. Like I said, I think Robert Rusler does a good job, and Caroline Williams, she does the best she can with what she's given. She's just kind of there to be kind of like the loving, supportive wife. That's kind of really her role. Sophie Monk does a good job as Penny. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't mind the film. But yeah, I mean, it's a good splatter film and stuff like that. Like I said, I mean, don't go into this, think it's going to be the greatest movie of all time, because it's not. I mean, but the kill scenes are pretty, pretty gruesome. I don't know if I would say inventive, but they are definitely interesting. So, but if you do appreciate good practical gore effects and everything else, I think you're going to enjoy the movie for that. And just yeah, so I don't want to give away the way it ends or anything like that. But if you're a fan of the original, I would say if nothing else, watch this. Just because you want to see like more. You're getting the same kind of story, but you get it with slightly better acting, better production value, better production design, cinematography, things like that, and definitely more improved practical gore effects and stuff like that. I would say if you want to see I would say go ahead and give it a shot. But just this movie's not going to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. But overall, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good time waster. So I didn't mind it, to be honest with you. So, but to each their own. I know that is kind of the thing, though. It is a slow-moving film, so it does feel like it's kind of plodding in some areas. So I will say that. So take that into consideration. But yeah, actually, overall, I didn't mind this movie, and there you go. So yeah, the remake of Blood Feast. So I really don't know what else I can say about it, but so anyway, so that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please leave it a like? And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. And let's see. Yeah, we have more theme weeks coming and everything else, and we're trying to come up with ideas, since we're down to 5 reviewers now, it's like we're trying to come up with ideas of stuff we could do on the weekends, and try to come up with some new ideas, some fun stuff, some fun ideas and videos, that hopefully everybody can enjoy and get behind. But so that's it, everybody. So take care, have a good night, and I'll see you all later.